Welcome back to Politics Today. Well, the declaration of assets by public servants is our focus on the program tonight. Who should declare his wealth and what exactly does the law expect? Talk to us. Tweet at us on this Twitter handles. Well, those ones that are displayed on your screen, they are CTV Politics and also the following Twitter handles at Emana Amawe and at Charlie the Iceman. Well, before we let off, we heard the Senate President saying the summon by the Code of Conduct Tribunal, had underhand dealings. And then his lawyer also said, his lawyer happens to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. He had assured the tribunal that he would produce his client on Monday, which is the 21st of September. But the judge of the tribunal went ahead and ordered and issued a bench warrant for his arrest. Why would a judge disregard the words of a senior advocate of Nigeria?
Yeah, basically there are two things at play here. One, mind you, these are human beings also. Definitely the court might be angry that, there is a summon for you to appear before it. It's, rather than appear, you are rushed to the Federal High Court, asking the Federal High Court to tie the hands of the tribunal. And so on that note, the judge might be angry that, look, you are taking our simplicity for stupidity. And then, if you look at it from another breadth also, like we normally do in court, you would, even when, the prosecutor insists that a bench warrant should be issued against your client, you would tell the judge that, I promise, as a senior counsel, here, and I'm speaking from the bar, that I would produce my client. And, one would have expected also that the judge would exercise restraint. And, the senior counsel having promised that he was going to produce him. But I'm not in the mind of the judge. I would not know why he insisted. But like I said, he might also have been angry that you've been asked to appear and you are aware you have been served. Rather than appear, you went ahead to ask a court of coordinate jurisdiction, to tie the hands of the judge. And only for you to discover that the court was sitting. Remember, mind you also, the senior counsel, his counsel came to court late. That also might have been working in the mind of the court that, okay, they probably discovered that we are sitting, we were going ahead, we have refused to abide by that Federal High Court order, and so he had to rush to court to say, look, I'll produce him. But be that as it may, basically, if you look at it, it's 50-50. The judge can decide. It's a discretion. He can decide to say, I will exercise this discretion in favor of this person. I will decide not to exercise discretion, otherwise. And so it's if he likes.
So in other words, it's discretionary.
It's discretionary.
Okay.
It's not something.
It's
not compulsory that he must abide by that promise that I will produce him.
Okay, Dr. Nweze, let me ask you. It appears the Code of Conduct Tribunal has suddenly been thrust in the face of Nigerians, whereas before this time, one hardly knew much of the tribunal. Everybody knows of the Code of Conduct Bureau and all of that. What are your thoughts?
Well, you see, because when the president when the people began to read the body language of the president, everybody is now waking up from their slumber. And like you rightly said, the Code of Conduct Bureau, apart from, that personally I knew they exist, and I've not heard of them, for a long time. Now, their job could have been done more. My question is, I query why a public declaration in the first place, if they are doing their job. That's one. Now, I have not heard them after public servants when they enter. Before they enter, they declare their assets. Now, when they have served their tenure, the Code of Conduct Bureau, they have never told us what assets, these people acquired after is necessary. So, you see, because the Code of Conduct, I don't think that they are really acting the way they should. It's just reading the body language of the president. And that institution should be more strengthened so that it be more functional. And then people should, be aware of what their roles are, what their destiny. And again, listening to Liborous and the other lawyers that spoke, I think we need to begin to rethink or reconfigure or tweak our constitution. so that this confusion about the jurisdiction and all that, it be made straight. And it's not just this matter alone. Every case, most cases in Nigerian courts, they always start with argument of jurisdiction. And that tells me that there's something wrong with the constitution or the court process. We need to look at it. Either reform the court process or change the constitution so that it be as simple, so that there'll be no this argument of, this one has a right, this one doesn't have a right. We go straight to the matter, and deal with the matter the way it is. Now, all the argument about surrounding Saraki's case, it's all about jurisdiction. They have not even entered into the main argument.
Okay, Liborous, I see you have something to say on the matter.
Basically, issues like this, lawyers, once you employ defense lawyer, the practice in Nigeria, you find that even where there is no defense, you see lawyers who want to throw spanners in the wheel. Saraki's team is not arguing that the code of conduct does not have jurisdiction to hear this matter. What they are basically saying is that there is no subsisting attorney general, and to that effect, that you cannot issue a summon at the code of conduct in the name of an attorney general. That has nothing to do with the powers or the jurisdiction of the code of conduct or the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. Some lawyers have even argued that maybe Saraki is scared that he will not get fair hearing. These are conjecture. These are conjecture. These are the thoughts of those lawyers. In as far as the law is concerned, it is very clear the powers of the Code of Conduct and the powers of the Federal High Court are spelled out in section 250 and 251. And then on the issue of property, if you go to paragraph 11 sub 3, it says any property or asset acquired by a public officer after any declaration required under this constitution and which is not fairly attributed to income, gift or loan approved by this code shall be deemed to be acquired in breach of this code unless the contrary is proved. You must establish that, look, it is not just politics that is my job. I have other means of income. And so it is through those means of income that I acquired this property. I agree with you that we only dwell on declaration at the point of entry. Yeah. The code also says at the point of exit, you must also declare your asset.
All right, I think at this point we should bring in Alhaji Buba, the former secretary of the Code of Conduct Bureau.